Hello, everybody. This is Kyle Speed One, not coming to you from the racetrack. I thought I'd try something a little bit different. I made a video a long time ago about making my own holsters for some of my pistols. And I thought I would do, in the future, a segment on each one that I've done and explain a little bit about them. Okay. Now, this holster here, the leather, the tools to do the sewing, do the saddle stitching, the dye, the concho, the Native American motif concho, and the ribbon, or whatever you want to call that. All came from Tandy Leather Company. Okay, and I got two of them close to me. One of them's real close to me, where I can just hop down the street and buy some more leather or dye or supplies or whatever I need. But anyway, I got this, or I made this rather, by basically drawing out the shape of this big Bertha. And now, if y'all don't know what this is, there's a clue. U.S. 1847. Okay. Yeah, it's a black and powder. It's black and powder and cap and ball, or you can see the cap nipples. That's right, I said the N word, nipples. Nipple. Cap and ball, black powder pistol. Okay. Now, this is a recreation from a company called Birdie. Okay. And they're a company in Italy that makes these pistols. And they all comes in different sizes. Colt, Remington, the Whitneyville, some of the other makes. Now, I'm gonna put my fat mechanic stand hand on here real quick to let you know just how big this pistol is. It's kind of hard to imagine sitting here, but hang on a second. Okay, I thought I had somebody coming in the driveway. Anyway, now I forgot to mention, this pistol is an 1847 replica of the Colt Walker pistol that he made for the Texas Rangers. Okay. Beautiful pistol. It's got all the engraving on the cylinder and all that good stuff. So, to give you another clue about this behemoth, that pistol, empty. No powder, no ball, no nipples, nipples, at all, weighs 4.5 pounds. 4.5 pounds. Okay. Now, of course, your holster has to be pretty durable. And what I've done is I've done the saddle stitching, just like when you're making saddles. It's a real, you can look it up on the internet and it'll give you a diagram, show you how to do a saddle stitch, but it's time consuming. And if you're doing this all by hand, which is what I did here, it's really, there's a lot of labor in it and your hands get wore out real quick. So anyway, this is dyed black. And I've got the black thread It's a thicker thread, so it's more durable. Sewn in. And the reason why you see stitching everywhere is because this thing is actually lined. If I can open this. Okay. In other words, it's not the raw leather. It's not the raw leather on the inside. It's the smooth side. Okay. And what you do is you cut out your pattern of the 2 or 3 or even 4 mil leather hide. And then you grab your 1 mil, if not thinner, and you make the liner. And what you do is you glue the 2 pieces together, and you basically draw a line at the center right here and go all the way down with a pencil or something so that you know where to wet this leather, okay, with warm water and with a rag, dampened rag with warm water, and keep putting it into the leather as you slowly bend the leather over on top of itself, lining up the outer edges, okay, all the way down. And then what you do after that is you grab the glue that they use and you put it in between the 2 pieces here, and it's kind of like contact cement for leather. So you got to let it not get tacky, but almost where at the touch it feels like it's dry. And then you combine the 2 pieces together and it cements the leather together. Then you come back with your, they make different types. There's like a 2-fork, a 4-fork, and I think even a 6-fork tool to stamp holes into the leather so you can put your thread down through. Now the other line that you see is the groove that's put in with another tool. It's kind of V-shaped, and that's your sewing line, okay? That lines up with your thread holes, okay? And then you just thread it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they show you, if you look it up online, they show you how to tie it off to where it won't come unraveled. And let's see, yeah, it's lined. Basically, I made this out of the leather and the other materials that I bought from Tandy Leather Company. And like I said, this pistol weighs 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds, empty. So what I did was I sewed, well, I didn't sew it. You see where I chamfered the edge of the leather, and it's thicker. It's a thicker leather than usual, because this is designed to hang off of your belt on your waist. Okay, and I didn't want to trust stitching, so I installed these copper rivets. Let's see. Yeah, I installed these copper rivets where they have tools that help you do the riveting by hand. I don't have any machines to do this. This is all done by hand. Okay, and there's the other side of the rivets that you can see in there. Okay, and then what I did was I went back after dyeing, not death dyeing, but taking dye and coloring the leather, is you got to let that cure, come back, wipe it down, add another layer if you want to of the dye. It just depends on how dark you want it, or whether or not you got light spots or, you know, shiny spots or whatever. And then what you do is you come back with the mink oil, as in the animal mink, and you rub down the leather. Okay. And now this one here I kind of got out of step on it. After you get it all together, sewn and glued together, okay, if you want it to fit whatever pistol that you're working with, you want to make it custom, in other words, to where it fits it like a glove. You see all these high spots and indentations. There's the barrel running through. You have to wet this leather. So what I do is after I get it all together, I'll run some warm water in the sink and I'll dip this into it for about 30 minutes or so. Or no, I'm sorry, 30 minutes. About 3 minutes, okay? And then I'll take it out and I'll let it drip dry and what have you. And what I'll do is I'll take saran wrap and wrap the pistol, the whole pistol, with saran wrap, and I'll insert it into the holster that's wet, okay? And you have to let that cure for probably about 2 days to let it dry out. Could be depending on where you live with humidity and temperature and all that. Here in Texas, I did most of my leather work during the summer, so it cures real quick. It will evaporate that water a lot quicker here in Texas. Okay, so then after I get it formed, I'll start doing some of the other stuff like stamping this hole, this cutout, to put this leather thong on here. And what these are called is blood knots. Those are blood knots, and you can look it up on the internet and they'll show you how to make a blood knot. But these, you know, I even made some of these and gave them out to people to put on their keychains. And I got one on my keychain for my car. So it's kind of a neat, quick, you know, hobby thing, craft thing that you can do. Let's see, what else? Oh, all right. After you've basically done everything you wanted to do, like put this strap on. Now I had already dyed it, so at that point, I dyed the whole thing, and then I added this tie-down strap. Okay, and I made my cutout for the concho and this Native American motif ribbon here with some blood knots on it. Okay, and then after all that's done, wipe it down with a dust rag or something, dust cloth, and go back and check everything. And then I went back with mink oil, and I oiled it up from the outside, also all the way down through the inside. Okay. And there's another product that you can use to kind of weatherproof the whole thing, and I can't remember what it is because I did this so many years ago and I'm probably out of it. Can't even show you what it was. But it's this it's got a dauber. It comes in a bottle. It's got a dauber, and you just coat the whole thing. Not a heavy coat, but you know, coat the whole thing, and it basically weatherproofs and helps keep the dye from transferring off of the holster onto your clothing. Okay, which is probably the most important part for everybody. So yeah, I mean that's my Walker 1847 Colt Walker that was made for the Texas Rangers. They would have 2 of these per Ranger, but they didn't wear them unless they were a big old boy. These had a strap that would connect one holster with another holster, and it had a hole in the center of that strap that they would place over the pommel or the horn of the saddle, Western saddle. Okay, I'm not talking about English or Spanish or any of those other saddles. I'm talking about the good old Wild West military U.S. Soldiers that had the horn at the front of their saddle, which, was used for a lot of things, but for the cowboys, mainly it was used for roping cattle and tying it around that horn, saddle horn, and dragging or trying to coerce the cattle back to the herd. Okay. So, yeah, they would have one hanging off of one side of the saddle and one off the other side of the saddle. They were also issued sabers. And basically, Walker, I think he was a captain then. Captain Walker of the Texas Rangers wanted a heavier, more powerful pistol because he was working on a new technique that brought this, and he worked in conjunction with Colt quite a bit, refining the design of that pistol because he wanted to shoot the horses out from underneath enemy soldiers, or the Comanches or Apaches or whoever, the Mexicans, whoever was raiding across the border and raping, pillaging, and murdering and all that stuff. So Captain Walker and Colonel Colt in collaboration, they came up with this 1847 Walker, which is named after the Texas Ranger. Now you know where the name Walker comes from on the TV series. It's kind of long-winded, I know. But I wanted to do each one of these that I've done on a personal level than I did on that older video that would show the detail that I put into each of these holsters. And if you go online and shop, the funny thing about it is, now, capitalism is wonderful. The product is worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for, right? That's the old saying. You can get sticker shock trying to find just any holster. Now, they sell some cheap China knockoffs, but their stitching is done by machine, and they don't use a good thread quality. Okay. So hence the cheapness. But if you're going after something with some quality that's been wet, formed to the pistol that you're wanting to put in there, you're going to pay quite a bit of money. I mean, that's all there is to it. You're going to pay quite a bit of money. And if you want things like this Native American symbolism on there, and this ribbon for the blood knots, you're going to pay a higher price for it. So instead of doing that, I made my own, and I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with all the holsters that I made. Once you get the first one done, it's like a lot of things. Once you figure things out and get a rhythm and a good grasp of understanding on what it is you're doing and the steps you got to take, there's all kinds of guides out there that will help you with that. I suggest you go to the library or go to Tandy if you got a Tandy Leather. I think they may only be here in Texas nowadays. But you can still go online and order from Tandy online with whatever supplies that you need. And they have the books. When I say book, they might be like 2.5 feet long. It's a pretty big deal. It's paperback, but it has the guide and tips and the outline of the holsters the gun holsters in there, showing you different types. And what you can do is trace the outlines in those big books and lay them on top of your raw leather, cut them out, and start making you a holster. And that's basically it, you know. But like I said before, I thought I'd bring another part of my hobby out and let y'all ooh and ah and gawk over it, because every time I pull these things out of my safe, I just ooh and gawk and wow, and you know, that's beautiful, and I'm still impressed by them. If you're wondering, this is 44 caliber, and you can put, now you kind of cramming things doing it, but you can put I think it's 60 grains of black powder into that cylinder. And I'm going to tell you right now, with that setup, it's like a lot of black powder pistols. You are going to knock the snot out of something or somebody. And the thing about black powder is it doesn't really have much of a kick to it, recoil to it. But the 4.5 pounds with that kind of a charge pretty much negates any recoil nastiness with it. Okay. And this sucker's accurate. I've been out to like 100 yards with it and been able to hit the bullseye, or at least the 9 ring, every time with this thing. So if you need to knock down the Hulk, or you got a big old hippo in your yard, or alligator, or alien, or what have you, get you one of these walkers from Uberti in Italy. Oh yeah, the company that I bought this from is located here in the United States, and it's called Dixie Gun Works. Okay. Now, I'll warn you, you watching this video today, I did not pay this kind of price that you would see on their website right now. I guarantee you. They have gone up since the COVID fandango, and the cost of steel, because this is made out of steel. Okay. You know, you got some brass on the trigger guard and on the, well, it's got a steel back strap, but mainly it's all steel, machine steel. Okay. And so, yeah, that's about what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, like and comment, especially comment. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you, and head you on your own way of making your own holsters. Okay? I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Take care. Bye.